Yeah, yeah, they're pretty popular over here. I had Blue Moon for first one, and then
Ooh, moon.
second, yeah.
Wow. I remember when I had a kegerator, it was Keystone Light every single time. Actually, Keystone Light out of a keg was pretty good. I mean, compared to the can, I was impressed.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. I want to get Guinness, I can see that. But you need to get a.
Oh.
But you need to get a separate, different type of gas. You need nitrogen gas.
Oh, okay.
Do it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and you need a separate tap handle. But it's doable. So I think it'd be cool to have Guinness on one and then something else on the other one.
Oh, totally. I'd be very impressed with that, Joe.
Yeah, halfway there.
Yeah. How's the rest of the house? Pretty good? Good toilets?
Yeah, they're good. I'm gonna have a plumber come out to do some.
Yeah, I was gonna say a
checking.
little hesitation. What's going on there?
Well, we're having a little bit of a problem when you take a shower. You get a little leakage in the basement. A little bit, just a small amount. So I'm gonna have a plumber come out and take a look.
Yeah.
Oil some other things. Just small things. Everything's working fine though.
That's good.
Got AC, which is good.
That is
Central
good.
air.
Yeah. Is your AC leaking?
No.
Well, you know, in our apartment, the AC above us, it's been leaking for about over a year now.
Really? So it's like a refrigerant?
So it's not for our apartment, it's the apartment above us.
Okay.
And you know, the landlord's been notified, but I think he's just got bigger and better things to do. So we have to live with that, you know?
What do you mean by like the window unit is leaking, you're saying? Or is it...
Not the window unit. What's it called? You know. Jeez. F if I know. Q, do you know what that unit's called?
Unit 2?
Well, unit number.
You mean like the air intake fan outside?
Nope.
That's leaking?
It's more interior. It's like not the furnace. It's like right next to the furnace. But who knows?
So, like a water
Might
heater?
be the water heater. It could be that. Something's leaking, and it's not just a little bit. You know.
It's leaking water.
I hope so.
Yeah. I would think, I think water heater would probably be leaking water.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be like a refrigerant. That's not something you want to have. It's kind of hazardous. Depending on what type it is.
Okay. How many different types of refrigerants are there?
It's probably it's called like, there's like 22A and then there's 134A. There used to be Freon, which is illegal now because it's too hazardous.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So, if it's a current system, it wouldn't have Freon.
But it could be Freon if it's not current.
Yeah, it'd have to be pretty old, but possible. So be careful.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty cool name. I mean, somebody offered me, hey, you want some Freon? I'd say probably yeah. You know.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I would drink it.
I think it has adverse health effects similar to like why they don't have leaded paint. It's one of those old school kind of things they didn't know about.
Asbestos.
Yeah. Add it to the list.
Yeah. Who knew? Who knew about mesothelioma in the 30s? I didn't.
I sure didn't.
No. But
Thanks to those commercials.
Other than that, everything's good. Just a little bit of water in the basement, but it's nice though. The outdoor patio was nice. We got a nice patio. I had a projector set up, so I was watching a Cubs game I think last week outside, which is pretty cool. So you got kegerator, you got projector, so nice little setup.
Got the whole setup.
Oh yeah, a lot of gardening, a lot of lawn care.
Ooh, what are you planting this season, Joe?
We have a garden plot. We had one from before, but tomatoes, carrots, beets, collard greens. I'm
Okay.
trying jalapeno peppers and
Oh,
habanero peppers.
I
this
just
year.
planted some jalapenos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes.
Nice.
So yeah, keeps you busy.
Oh, for sure.
But
Yeah.
it's good to be outside. It's nice out finally.
Oh, definitely. And in a couple months, you'll be making your own tacos with some jalapenos in there, and nothing
Yeah.
but some
Exactly.
freshly sliced tomatoes on a burger. You got it made.
Yeah. Nothing more you can ask for.
You got your own cattle at your place?
I don't, but the area I'm in is semi-rural, so there are some cattle farms.
Oh.
There's one not too far that has like they look like they're like the long matted woolly like yak looking like longhorns.
Yeah, kind of orangish brown one.
Yeah,
those guys?
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're called, but they have a herd of them. I don't know what they do with them. I don't know, but there's some cows. There's a lot of.
They probably don't milk those. Yeah.
No, they probably use them for meat. But the house across the yard from me has a chicken coop though.
Eh?
And, yeah, the chickens get out sometimes and they run down into our yard. But keeps it interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely. My sister's got some chickens. She just got a chicken coop for her yard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
She didn't have it right away, so she had chickens basically living in her bathtub a little bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it was. Did you come across some chickens and then had to create a coop later, or was it? I'd imagine if you were planning to have chickens, you'd get the coop first.
Right. You would think so.
Okay, that's fair.
Right. But sometimes you see chickens in the wild, you just gotta pounce.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of chickens.
All right, gentlemen. Looks like we got the stream rolling. I don't know if you guys brought up your Twitch chat in case you want to interact with some of the viewers this evening, but it looks pretty good. Just gonna do one more pretty good audio test. I think we're good.
Checking it out.
So this Cup of Joe's episode, episode 5, season 4, we are titling it Flower Blood Moon Lunar Eclipse Special. So there's a couple different things going on there. I believe it was last night was a lunar eclipse, blood moon.
I think is it tonight or was it last night?
I think in Australia it was last night.
Right, but I think in the States we have it tonight. Yeah, I think.
I feel like Joe you would be the one to know.
Yeah, well, their their last night is. Yeah, I think it's tonight. For the United States, it's tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I know they had it in like the southern hemisphere, that far. In Australia, New Zealand had it yesterday or last night for us. But, yeah.
And they're ahead of us, so yeah, should be coming tonight.
Yeah.
Joe, do you know can you explain what a blood flower moon is?
Well, I know like a blood moon is when basically you have an eclipse. A lunar eclipse is where you have the sun, Earth, and the moon. So the Earth is in the middle, right? And so you see the shadow of Earth on the moon's surface. And when they call it like a blood moon is when all the sun's rays are refracting off Earth's atmosphere. Basically, you get all the gases in the atmosphere will filter the light to make it like shine like reddish, kind of looks like a dark red color onto the moon, and the moon looks red from our point of view. That's why I call it blood moon. I'm not sure why they call it flower moon, but that's why they call it blood moon.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think I saw that it's gonna be pretty late at night where you can get a good view. I'd like to stay up, but have you seen one before?
I've seen one. Yeah,
Don't you have a telescope, Joe?
Yeah, I do. I do have a telescope. Not with me. It's in my storage locker right at the moment. So, damn, missed it. But
No, you got a couple hours to get over there. We could do a cup of Joe's
Yeah,
on
how
the
far is
road.
it?
Take your
it.
mobile, take
Well,
your mobile
but
device.
it's in Chicago still. But
All right, then one of us can go grab it. What's your code?
yeah, yeah.
Hmm?
You need a key. You could ask
Oh,
someone for a key.
shit.
But um, but I do remember seeing one a couple summers ago. I was still living at my folks' house, and I was like, "You guys, there's a big like lunar eclipse tonight, blood moon, super moon thing. Or it's like a blood super moon, which means it's at the closest in lunar orbit to Earth, so it appears larger in the sky and it's red. Um, and it was an eclipse, so it was like three things going on. And I was like, okay. And my mom and my dad was like, I'll check it out, sure. And then he was like, it was a clear night, and he saw it, and it was like around twilight, so it was probably around like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Uh, and people were actually cheering, like on this, like in our neighborhood, like in Wildwood.
Go
Yeah.
Moon, go Moon.
Yes!
And my dad actually cheered. He whistled at the moon. I was like,
That's my boy.
Damn, must have been a thick moon.
it was a good, yeah, that was like good. It was nice and clear. So that's the last time I remember. But it was a special moment. We took some pictures and we had the binoculars off and stuff. So,
Did you get an autograph?
Cool. No, I was too shy.
Joe actually brought a selfie stick. He was taking selfie sticks with the moon. Honey, look how close we are.
Yeah.
Like, what is it, Bruce Almighty?
When he pulls it in? Yeah.
So I'm excited for the moon tonight. I know a couple of viewers are at home too. They're showing some excitement. Big night for the moon. You know, they don't get many nights of the year. So
Shout out to the moon.
big
Yeah.
moon night.
Yeah. And speaking of Moon Knight, there's a new movie coming out from Marvel, Moon Knight.
Moon Knight?
Lesser known character. He's kind of like Marvel's version of Batman. But he goes out at night and he's crazy. He's got like multiple personalities, and he doesn't dress in black. He dresses in bright white. Think of Batman, but all white in the middle of. It doesn't make any sense because everyone would see him, right? But he's kind of crazy.
I'm sold.
So stay tuned for that. Moon Knight.
What like era is it in the Marvel universe? Like, is it?
Oh, I think he's been around since the 70s.
But right, but like I know some of these stories, some of them take place in like alternating timeline or like similar timelines.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm just curious. I'm trying to get better
Yeah.
with those movies of like understanding like the actual plots and stuff and characters as opposed to just big action, you know.
Who's his major adversary?
Sun, Mr. Sun or something.
Sun, yeah. Is that a guy?
He here I'm pulling up. So his he's basically like he's kind of a side character, but he has a dissociative identity disorder.
Don't we all?
So not multiple personality, dissociative.
He's a Jewish American, former Marine turned CIA agent. After leaving both organizations in disgrace, he became a mercenary, and he was left for dead in the desert on a mission in Egypt, where an idol of the Egyptian moon god Khonshu saved him and gave him his moon-based powers. So he has like superpowers of the moon. So stay tuned for that.
I'm in. Do you know what those powers are?
They're like
sorry to cut you. Sorry to cut you off. Sandoval Hines in the chat. I don't know if you guys have the Twitch chat pulled up yet, but Sandoval Hines gonna go celebrate the moon tonight. Me and the boys going out in the woods, smoking some tubes and having a black mass.
oh my god.
Where can we join you, Sandoval?
Yeah.
What woods you going into tonight? Maybe Bunker Hill, or what was the Whalen Pool, where the Uh,
A lot of good choices in Cook County.
yeah,
You
no,
mean
there's a lot.
right by Superdog?
Yeah, right back
Right.
there.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a movie. It is a Disney Plus series.
See, that's just I just need to get Disney Plus. I have to do it,
Oh, it's great. Yeah, you should check it out.
and then I'll hop on the Mandalorian and all that ish.
Oh yeah, Oscar Isaac is gonna be Moon Knight. By the way.
Oscar Isaac is gonna what?
He's starring as Moon Knight.
Oscar Isaac. That sounds familiar.
Good actor.
Oscar.
He was in Ex Machina. He was
Inside
in
Llewyn Davis.
Oh,
yes.
Ex Machina is great.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the billionaire robot creator guy.
Does the disco dancing with him, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's also gonna be in Dune, the new Dune movie coming out.
Haven't they been trying to get that movie out for like a decade? I feel like.
So yeah, so it was supposed to come out last year, and then because COVID, they just didn't do it. And then they were going to do it on HBO Max, uh, like last fall, and then they delayed it again for a whole year. So it's not going to come out till fall this year on HBO Max and then in theaters. But yeah, Oscar Isaac, I'm excited. I'm a big Dune guy.
Did you
You're
play the
Dune
video
Goon?
game?
Dune Goon, yeah,
You're a Moon Goon, a Dune Goon.
yeah, all the oons.
Just goofing.
But yeah, should be good. Should be good. I'm excited to go back to the movies. I haven't seen gone to see a movie in so over a year, obviously. But
Yeah, I
I
was
think
lucky enough to
yeah.
see that movie Tenant in theaters. This was a couple months.
Oh
This was a couple months ago, and it was wild in theaters.
yeah.
Because Christopher Nolan does that big bass,
Oh yeah.
soundtrack to all his stuff. It was intense.
I watched it on HBO Max
Yeah,
um,
and it's like
a
a
couple
pretty
weeks ago.
thick plot. So
Yeah,
you're really into it. You're really paying attention.
yeah,
Definitely gonna be I feel like it's an underrated movie just because nobody was able to go.
yeah,
uh, but I actually got the
yeah.
invite from Mr. Nolan, so that was kind of nice of him to extend the invite.
Personal invite.
Yeah, rolled out the red carpet.
Oh,
You
wonderful.
know.
How you get into that? Damn.
I don't know. I just started tweeting like, "Hey, Dark Knight's awesome," just like raving about his movies.
Love your
And
work, bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Nolan, big fan.
Yeah.
And he
I
must
don't
have.
care what anybody else says. You're the best.
You're the best.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you know what? We're picking one lucky fan to come out see our new movie Tenet we got going on."
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty nice. Yeah, it's pretty
Theater capacity's at 1 right now, and you're it. Come on.
good. Yeah, and then it was just me and him in there. It's kind of awkward, but
Oh wow. Did you sit next to each other?
no, we social distance, but we shared the same like popcorn bowl, so it was like,
So you had to get up and go grab popcorn.
yeah, you just throw a little bit in your hand at a time, and then just there's like a communal
Yeah.
popcorn
Mm-hmm.
bowl.
How did you decide how much butter to put on it? Because I know people are pretty particular about
So
how much.
I'm like a mediocre butter guy. Can't
Mm.
have too little, can't have too less. But I know some people just douse it on there and make it like soggy
Oh yeah.
waffles. That's disgusting.
Yeah. And then they slurp up their fingers during the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, then you like there's something about like being in a movie theater, just like hearing other people like crunch and like
Yeah.
slurp their drink. It's
Yeah.
like shut up.
Right. And then you hear moans coming from the back corner. It's a great experience.
Yeah, so
I've been to a theater where someone actually got a phone call, answered the phone, and took the call in the movie.
do you know what movie it was?
Uh, I forget, but I do remember I was with my dad again, and
Was he cheering for the movie?
no, he it was kind of a smaller theater. We were in Wisconsin, like one of those small town theaters where there's only like 3 or 4 different screens. and it was a woman. She got her phone call. She opened it up, a flip phone, and my dad he did the half turn,
Like, lady, are you serious?
and then about 30 seconds goes by, and he does the full turn, and he stands up, and he says, "Must be a really important phone call."
That sounds like a Larry David skit.
Yeah.
And everyone in the theater, everyone in the theater backed him up. It's like, get out of here.
What?
And
You guys pitchforked her out of there?
And the lady, she had a rebuttal. She was like, "I'm a doctor. This is an emergency."
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "Well, if it was a real emergency, you'd probably leave the theater."
They kept going?
Yeah.
This story, I did not expect this story to get to that.
Yeah, and he was like, "I hope it's I hope it's a heart transplant." Or something like that.
Oh.
No, then like everyone started chiming in at this person. Oh man.
Throwing drinks at her.
Because she was talking on the phone for she was probably talking on the phone for about a minute or two before the crowd turned on her.
And what was her volume level in speaking? Was she raising her voice? Was she whisper?
Just generally, kind of how we're speaking now.
Okay.
So, it's a movie theater.
Right. I do have a question about her. Did she have one of those Karen haircuts?
In Wisconsin, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think she might have, but I was trying to avert my eyes because I was like,
yeah, like,
what is going on right now?
Yeah.
Dad, stop. Let's just watch the movie.
Let's just go to a different movie, Dad. Come on.
Come on, Spider-Man's playing at 3. Let's get over there. I got probably just a quick little story about going to the movies. I tweeted out the other day. One of the worst movies I've seen in the last decade was Wonder Woman 1984. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, but
I've seen it.
this is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that movie more than I have hated most of all movies I've seen in my entire life, with the exception of 2007. I went to Skokie Theater. There's a couple Wildwood kids there as well. And we paid for a ticket to go see Will Smith in a movie called 7 Pounds.
Oh, yeah.
It was hands down the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Half of us walked out of there within like 20, 25 minutes. We left the theater. So when I tweeted that the other day about Wonder Woman, I just Googled 7 Pounds, just whatever. It did 138 million at the box office.
Wow.
When you guys have a chance, look up this movie called 7 Pounds. It's the worst.
I remember it.
It's the worst movie ever
premise?
made. I don't know. We left.
Does he weigh 7 pounds?
There's like 7 different like people like dealing with tragic accidents or something going on in their life, and he has gray hair and he carries a briefcase and he like carries the weight of the world on his shoulders and deals with other people's like drama.
Uh-huh.
Now.
And then I left. I don't remember.
Do you think? How old were you at this point?
I mean,
like 13?
7th, 8th grade, freshman year, somewhere in there.
Seems like an odd choice for a bunch of 8th graders to go see 7 Pounds.
Definitely.
I couldn't even tell you.
Did you sneak into this movie?
I mean, 138 million at the box office. We must have paid for it.
Wow.
I might rewatch it, or I might watch it for the first time just to see for myself.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I think for me, the worst movie I ever saw was Grown Ups 2.
You paid for that one? Let's see what that did at the box office.
Oh, I'm sure it did stellar.
Anything with Sandler, yeah. Let's see. If you guys had to guess,
walk out.
Guess box office real quick. Sorry, Joe.
172.
Nope. Joe, I?
Grown Ups 2. I'm gonna go 97 million.
$247 million.
Whoa!
People paid to see that movie.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? And now Sandler's got deals on Netflix. He just spits out like 4 movies a year. They're like, here's 200 mil.
Mm-hmm. So he can go on vacation. Every movie.
All right, so you go and see Grown Ups 2. You're an adult, right? You're an adult that went and saw this movie?
So yeah, probably in college, yeah, right. But we couldn't leave because one of our friends, we'll just call him. Well, actually, there were 2 Tonys there. One of the Tonys got so high that he was sick and he was throwing up into a popcorn bucket.
Oh no.
So he was sitting at the end of the row, and then the other Tony, I've never seen somebody enjoy a movie more than him. He was laughing at every single line. So it's me and then our other buddy, who are sitting there, Rob, and we're just looking at each other, and we're extremely angry, but we can't leave because one of us is really enjoying it, the other one's sick to his stomach in the corner. So
Yeah.
we sat through it with gritted teeth, and we're
Just one guy's opposite sides of the spectrum. The 2
Yeah.
Tonys.
yeah.
That's hilarious. We got Sandoval Hines in the chat. I've been spraying my floor with Pepsi before I start a movie at home to recreate that classic theater floor experience. I mean, yeah, there's nothing like walking through the aisle. Excuse me, sticky floor. You know, that buttery smell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got a story about that. I I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park movies. And we went to go see, I think I went with friend Matt. We went to Village Crossing. So Jurassic World, the premiere, Friday night. Packed. I've never seen a movie theater line so long to go see Jurassic World.
Wow.
Went into the movie, got our seats. Midway through the movie, this guy starts ripping vapes. And he starts blowing clouds in the movie theater. like Chris Pratt's on screen training raptors, and I can barely see it because there's just vapes clouds emanating from this man. and then so I was like, okay, it only happened a couple times.
Did you know what flavor it was? What flavor tobacco?
I remember like a cherry.
I was gonna say cherry, yeah.
Thing.
Was he doing those like rings or anything cool with the vape?
No, just clouds, just straight clouds.
So he's the reason that they have to put like you can't vape on this airplane, sir.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's the reason they made that rule.
Yeah.
We thought it was implied with smoking, but yeah, I guess vaping too. You can't.
I felt like I was in like Spirit Halloween store with like fog machines. But
That's great.
that's not enough. I was like, okay, people used to smoke in movie theaters, so it's not that big of a deal. And then at the end of the movie, we're walking out, and going to these like premieres, you really see how trashy people are by how much garbage they leave.
Yes. Like, how do you not pick up the 2 things that you have with you? Walk it out.
Not just not pick them up. People like deliberately throw it on the ground when they're done.
Yeah.
In front of the people who have to clean it. Looking at them. So, I don't know if it was him, the vape guy, but it was someone in that general vicinity. Brought in, I looked down on the ground, and I saw something I've never seen in the movie theater. It was a mound on the carpet, a mound of sunflower seeds.
Oh God.
Like this high.
Someone just spit.
And I don't, to this day, I've never been more just shocked at the audacity of this person.
Listen, I'm an avid sunflower seed chewer, but it's always in a bottle or a cup.
At least.
Yeah.
Clean up after yourself.
I'm actually kind of impressed. He said it was like one single mound.
Yeah.
They were deliberately kind of spitting in that one place.
Maybe just drooling it down. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got Sandoval said before that. Sounds like the 2020 version of De Niro in Cape Fear. Also, we have Stu Magoo in the chat says Grown Ups 2 is one of the greatest one-liner movies of all time. I'm appalled. Listen, we all have our own opinions on some of these movies that we've seen,
Hey, Grown
and
Ups 1, loved it. Second one, worst ever. Sorry. Oh man. But I have a feeling it couldn't have been Vape Guy, right? Because you can't have that much going on in your mouth at once, right?
yeah, it would just be like a salty, smoky. Like
That's right.
he would be so cottonmouth. I mean, he wouldn't be able to. No amount of water or Slurpee at the theater would be able to help him get
No.
get through that.
Or
Yeah, it was gross.
128-ounce Coke. Yeah.
But the last movie I saw, still talking about movies, was
Well, yeah, we have Stu in the chat saying Grown Ups 1 sucked ass. So we're really on the Grown Ups 1 and
Oh,
2,
shit.
1 and
Oh,
2
wow.
debate.
We're going to have an audience poll for this.
Is there a Grown Ups 3? Can we settle the debate? Is there a third one?
I don't think so.
If
No?
they're making that much money, I wouldn't be surprised.
There's got to be a
Get
third one?
Yeah.
trilogy.
All right, well, we'll have to continue. What about Wild Hogs?
Oh god.
Wild Hogs is one of those movies that I love to hate, you know? You
Yeah,
know?
like these four guys that are 20 years past their prime
Yeah.
decide to get on motorcycles and go and, I don't know, be
I
like...
think they just, yeah. And then a biker gang tries to beat them up or something or take over a town, I think.
Joe, you were going to say something?
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say the last movie I saw was the Harley Quinn movie, which was fine.
Birds of Prey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that movie they like changed the title 3 times. But more so like I had just joined AMC Stubs, like the where you get to see like 3 movies a month or 4 movies a month for a monthly fee, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go see movies. So I went to the one at Village Crossing, and I went to Buffalo Wild Wings beforehand to
Uh-oh.
to get something to eat, maybe have a
Mhm.
beer or two, and go. And I got
Dangerous.
to talking to people at the bar, and I found myself surrounded by 3 other men, also going to see a movie alone, and we were seeing 4 separate movies.
4 different ones? What are the odds of that?
And I was like, hey, let's meet back here next Friday.
I'll go see a different movie again.
Yeah.
And then you guys could, review for one another and
Yeah.
depend on, and then you could
It's a little,
see which one.
impromptu movie club. It's kind of nice. But that was the last time COVID happened, and the movie club broke up.
They all died?
I don't know.
And
I
then
hope
and then AMC stock happened. So I'd like to think that that was because of you.
Yeah.
Might have something to do with it.
That's great.
But yeah, excited to get back to the movies for sure.
I've been on a big Lord of the Rings kick, extended version.
Oh yeah.
So I'll just have my work stuff up on one monitor, and then I'll have the Lord of the Rings extended cut on my second monitor playing while I'm working, and then it makes 4 hours of work go by. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Nice.
And I'm really trying to understand. Again, I keep saying the plot thing. Eventually I want to read the Lord of the Rings books, but it's just not in my schedule right now. So the movies are working out fine.
Yeah. Those extended versions also have hours and hours of special features of how they made the movies, how they did all the special effects. I recommend those. Check those out.
Will
Pretty
do.
cool.
Yeah, it'll help me get through my week next week.
Yeah, the coolest one is they filmed Helm's Deep.
Oh
And
yes.
that was pretty much all practical, just people out in work, makeup with artificial rain. It's really cool.
Artificial rain. Interested in that and artificial snow. Seems like a movie.
Well, it's like when you go skiing up north and it's not snowing yet, right? Isn't that technically artificial?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole ending of The Shining, spoilers, when it snows, that's
Mm.
all fake snow. And, like
Mm.
the maze.
So he didn't really like freeze to death.
No, I don't think so.
Kind of ruins it for me.
Yeah. Think about when you're watching a movie, how much time and effort it takes to plan and film it. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And then I think about like us talking about the worst movies I've ever seen. I feel kind of bad saying that now. I spent a lot of time on those movies. You know.
All those people who, yeah. I said I don't feel bad for like the Wonder Woman actors and actresses. The people who worked behind the scenes, yes.
Yeah, those people. Yeah. It's like I know Kevin James had a great time making Grown Ups too, and I don't feel bad about saying that about him.
Well, at the same time, too, Wonder Woman is like the most downloaded thing HBO Max has ever done.
Mhm.
So it's like they don't, you know. I'm
Yeah,
one critic
wiping
to,
their tears with Benjamins. You know, that's what they're doing.
yeah, to the 200 million downloads they had.
Yeah, Godzilla versus Kong, I think, might have beat it
Oh, is that
actually
right?
recently. Yeah, I think they did really good numbers for that
That movie
movie.
was awesome.
It was just a good old fashioned kaiju battle in the city.
So, Joe, did you finish Half Blood Prince?
Not yet, actually. I have like 1 hour left of reading. On the Kindle tells you how much time you have left.
So it knows your
So
reading speed?
yeah, it like calculates how fast you're reading, and then it
Whoa.
tells you like you have 20 minutes in this chapter.
So if I'm like, if your IQ is like definitely way higher than mine, it's gonna be like, oh, I have 2 hours left of reading.
No, it's just based on how fast you pages, and it calculates.
So if you have a higher IQ, you're able to read and digest sentences better. So it's gonna be like Joe, how about our TV upstairs that says you're streaming from an old version of
A Generation One Chromecast.
yeah, it
Are
says
you?
we have the
Yeah.
oldest Chromecast. Like, are you still that poor you can't upgrade? Similar instance here.
Oh man, it's rough when you get when your TV's throwing shade at you.
Sandoval says, "Can I connect my Fitbit to my Kindle?" I mean, I'm sure there's some way to do it. All these different
Oh,
technologies. Yeah, maybe like your Fitbit can. Uh-oh. I think we might have lost these guys on Zoom. I think you guys are still with me in the chat though, so should have them back shortly. Should have them back shortly. Neuralink. Yeah. Neuralink. Yeah. Yeah. Just bear with us for the folks at home. We are having some technical difficulties. Bear with us for the folks at home. We are having some technical difficulties. You guys would like to donate to our domain to help us pay for our Zoom calls. We would love the tips. You can tip at any of our Venmos, PayPal's. We're open to yeah, yeah. This is exactly a Christopher Nolan movie. So this isn't a rare occasion. We typically like to have one technical difficulty uh, hiccup during each broadcast, just to let the folks know at home that we are a an amateur podcast. We were kicked off of Apple iTunes because we had too many downloads from our episodes that all the advertisers, they were just throwing too much money at us where we just couldn't keep up. So Apple just decided to cut ties with us, and we are back. We are streaming on Twitch, all from our own pockets. We had to upgrade our Comcast service to pay for extra megabits on the download and upload speeds. So, your patience is appreciated. You got it. You got it. What are you guys in the chat doing tonight? Anybody having some beers? Anybody? There's a bunch of playoff games on tonight. Are you guys hockey fans, basketball fans? Cubbies are on. Yeah, the blood moon. I'm telling you, the satellite just yeah, the blood moon. I'm telling you, the satellite that Elon Musk has got up there just trying to destroy the blood moon. There's always something when there's a full moon. When there's a blood moon, this is something that never happens. So if you guys want to maybe go take a pee, grab a beer, use this as a intermission. I know Joe Irwin's working on sending a second invite here, so we should be back momentarily. It's good time for an intermission. Here we go. I think we're gonna be. All right, and it looks like we're back.
Yeah, guys, I don't know what happened there.
It's okay.
I think,
Sandoval Hines said it best in the chat. Blood moon causing the technical difficulties.
I agree. Yeah, it said my internet went out for a second. It went out for a second.
So I told the chat this is a good time to have, just take a little friendly intermission. Maybe go grab a drink. Maybe get some chips, something salty, something good. You know.
Always good breaking point.
We're like
Joel
a.
said he was having trouble.
Well, I think that was before the new link.
Okay.
You know, we're like a
Yeah.
Tarantino movie. You know, just go take a break. You know, you're at the movies. Go get some more popcorn, like we talked about. Maybe a slushy.
Sunflower seeds.
Maybe some sunflower seeds.
Refill your vape pen.
Yeah, bring out. Yeah, get that new cartridge in there.
Yeah, I don't know. It said internet caused an issue, and then I tried coming back into this one and wouldn't let me in.
So, before we got cut off, you said you got an hour left of.
Oh yeah, yeah, because we're talking about the reading speed. So like it knows how many. I guess it knows like how many words are on a page, and then every time you turn the page, it times it. Here comes. Here comes. There it is.
There he is.
Yay.
And we're back. There was just a small intermission we were telling the folks at home. Joe's dad actually had to go yell at some lady who was disrupting his theater viewing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we got Sandoval, throwback to a previous episode, says the Mothman is eating your Wi-Fi, bro.
Yeah, I need to go check out there.
Great throwback. That was a fun episode. And hey, maybe the Mothman's out tonight. The blood moon. We've been talking about it a lot.
Yeah.
something. The stars are not.
By the way,
Mothman's attracted to the light.
Yeah.
yeah. By the way, there's been some recent developments in that Mothman story by O'Hare. There's been some more sightings recently.
I need to get like a job in Elk Grove Village and just like work the night shift or something
I'm
over
just gonna
there.
work in O'Hare.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye out for him. There's been some recent ones. Um, Similar things. I think it was a delivery driver saw him and gave an eyewitness testimony to a winged humanoid flying over his truck and landing, and then turning and saw red like bug eyes, and then he flew off.
Winged human.
So, yep.
Did they have any
Crazy.
details?
Just a large, maybe 7 to 8 foot tall, dark figure with wings and red eyes.
Hmm.
And was moving. He said that it was moving really fast, like almost like a plane almost.
Maybe that's why he's by O'Hare. He knows people just write it off as those are the planes flying by, flying by.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yo, we definitely need to get some boots on the ground. Go undercover.
Mm-hmm.
Which, speaking of undercover, Sandoval says he's gonna vote for Cryptid Weekly segment. So, I think that's like somewhat like a scripted looking into this. We're gonna have like boots on the ground type deal.
Hmm.
So I was also talking with Joe B. Oh my God.
February 4th.
That's what it looks like, though.
Wow. That looks like a spider with bat wings.
Can we tell if it's a male or female by this picture?
Come on, obvious. You know, little fuzz down there.
We're not. Can we get this? Can we interview this guy? Can we get his name and try and track him down? Can you go up and look for his name, Joe? I'd love if
Yeah.
we could
Yeah,
start
we can
doing
do
some
that.
interviews.
I mean,
That's a
I
great
told
idea.
you, we covered it before, but yeah. So this is all originating in West Virginia around a bridge.
That was not the bridge I was envisioning in my mind when you first told us about it.
So going back to if we were just gonna say guess if that was a male or female, Sandoval Hines says that's Hillary Clinton's Wikipedia picture. No, but for real, we do want to, for the folks at home and you guys too, we do want to start getting some investigative reporting, journalism, interviews in. And the first one that we had in mind was maybe going to attack Big Grocery. Another throwback to one of our earlier episodes was figuring out why Big Bun Grocery is what it is and how they have such a monopoly on selling us buns in large package styles when you only need like 4 hamburger buns. So I think we're going to start there and try and get some people in the grocery industry on the horn and see if we can ask them a couple questions. I think that would be fun. I think maybe the Mothman sighting will be fun, and we could start getting some interview guests as these stories come about.
Mm-hmm.
It's all connected.
So
it's one big web.
So stay tuned. Look out for future episodes. We also have a YouTube that we're gonna start sending out some fun videos, some quick segments, some quick edited down videos. We got some editing tools that we're gonna start working with. I'll bring you some highlights of these podcast episodes as well as some segments. Like I mentioned, we might just start with like a quick fun interview with maybe a special guest in the future. So look out for our YouTube channel coming out. Probably gonna be what do you say, next week or two, Joe? Maybe we'll get that.
We can certainly do that, yeah.
Cool.
Just got to load the videos, yeah.
That was a nice dig at me, but it's all good.
No, I didn't say anything.
What up, Stash? Welcome, welcome. We're having a fun time. Hope you guys are too.
Oh yeah.
So what else is going on? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Um,
Oh, Joe. Speaking of Flower Moon, this is a
yes.
book. A couple episodes ago, we had recommended to not only the folks at home, but for Cup of Joe's as well. And I know you have this in your Kindle, and based
Yes.
off of your read speed, you could probably get this done in a couple days.
I give it a shot. Yeah.
So I did
What's the
have
what's the
a.
page count there?
It's 320. Oh, that's with acknowledgments. Yeah, 315, 320.
I always read the acknowledgments, so.
So
I
for those of
start
you
with that.
for those of you at home, this book is called Killers of the Flower Moon: The Osage Murders and the Birth of the FBI. I encourage you all to go pick up a copy. It's not only a wonderful, wonderful kind of true crime mystery, all real, but it's also going to be uh, a film adaptation uh, with Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio tied to the picture. So this is something I'm very excited about, and I kind of wanted to
Maybe we
start.
can.
I kind of wanted to get into it tonight, but if you guys want to read it, then we can talk about it together. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Joe.
Okay.
Because I don't want to give any spoilers because it's unbelievable.
David Grand.
Yes, he is also the author of Lost City of Z.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Is this a spoiler, or can I ask this question? What does the flower moon in that title refer to?
So the Flower Moon refers to like the Osage people. It's like a description of like the Native American Indians. Like it kind of symbolizes their culture and those people,
Hmm.
especially around that time in Oklahoma, because they were obviously like cast away. And the book starts out great. I mean, these people were cast away to some small land in Oklahoma, and this isn't giving anything away, but it turns out that the land that they were given by the government was all oil rich, which was not found out until later when oil struck, and then there was a big oil boom, and that's where this book takes place. Is all these Indians that were literally thrown away given this land. Well, now it turns out it was the richest land in the United States of America. So then you had all these folks from across the country come in and try and uh, get in, you know, legally, illegally on all this oil money. And the book does a really good job of like portraying some of the evil characters, that some of them were marrying into these Indian folk, some of them were, you know, bad lawyers. There was a lot of stuff going on with the government at the time. So it's just there's so much in here, and you learn so much. And then, even after all that, you figure out this is the birth of the FBI. So J. Edgar Hoover, like he sent guys on a mission to figure out how all these Indians were getting killed for their oil land, and that's how the FBI really started because they needed people to develop or fight crime across like state lines and act as like a federal police.
So the FBI, that was the first kind of federal agency that
Yep.
did the police work. Yeah.
This put him on the map, and then Edgar Hoover, he solidified. He's a crazy character as he is, but he solidified his. This is what started it all, and now they're the most, one of the most famous organizations in the world.
Yeah.
And it all started in Oklahoma. Will DiCaprio get his second Oscar for his role as the Flower Moon? I'm gonna go on a limb and say yes.
So is he playing a Native American in the movie?
He's not. He's playing a a villain
Yeah.
in the movie. And there's already a couple other guys tied to it. That redhead I talked about from um, Friday Night Lights, and
Jesse Plemons.
yes, Breaking Bad.
Fargo.
That guy's in it. He actually plays the FBI agent in it, which is a really fun character as well. Kind of old
Nice.
school Texas, law fighting man who wound up working as like an undercover agent for Hoover and figuring out all these deaths from the Native Americans and how they were just getting deceived and all their land and oil and money stolen. So we'll give you guys at home a chance to maybe go get this or read a Wikipedia summary or something like that.
Cliff Notes, Spark Notes.
Spark Notes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Joe, it sounds like you've been reading pretty fast on Harry Potter, so I think you'll fly through this.
Cool. Shout out to David Gran at David Gran on Twitter. Cup of Joe's Nation tweet at him if you want him as a guest on the show.
I like it. We
Yeah.
got some authors on here. Yeah.
Yeah, we're big David Gran guys. That's two N's in his name, in his Twitter handle. So, well, I'm sure just based off that shout out, he'll come on. We'll get him on. We'll probably get an interview.
Should be next week, I would say.
Yeah, maybe that'll be our first guest on our YouTube page.
Let's make it happen, Cup of Joe's.
Because I'm sure he's not busy talking to Scorsese about the script or anything. He's got time for us, right?
No. And yeah, just shout out to him. No threats, but just let him know it'd be a good idea if he did do the show. Nothing serious, but
And for the folks at home, they're going to tag our cup of. Look at the picture.
Oh,
look at that! I like that.
This
flow.
is our guy. This is our guy. Everybody, go to David Gran's and say, "Go on Cup of Joe's podcast," and you could tag our Twitter.
He's also a staff writer at the New Yorker, so he's probably pretty busy. But maybe he could squeeze some time in with Zoom calls being pretty common nowadays.
Right. I'll be right back. I gotta turn on light. I see him in total darkness right now.
Hello, dark. Oh, The White Darkness. That's the title of his latest book.
Oh.
I'm telling you, this blood moon has got people, off. Everybody's got their equilibrium. So just be careful out there tonight, folks. We got the blood moon coming.
I have heard that on average, the crime rate in America is elevated on nights of the full moon.
Oh, I believe it.
I'm trying to see if I got some numbers to back this up.
I've been listening to a lot of true crime podcasts lately. So maybe they'll have a lot more stuff to work with, in the coming days after the events unfold from this evening.
What's happening this evening?
Crime rate is skyrocketing when there's a full moon, let alone a blood moon.
Ooh, yeah. Would a flower moon pump the numbers down a little bit?
PQ says, "Did I miss Conspiracy Corner?" No, we've been dabbling in a couple different things. We mainly talked about the moon that's going on tonight, and how that's going to bring out some conspiracy of its own. We also just talked about the conspiracy that is in this book. There was a widespread conspiracy to kill off of a bunch of Indians for the oil for their land. So we're going to talk about that in next week. Demonic possessions in elevators go up too. Oh, that's right. That poor girl. That investigative series we did on that poor girl in the elevator.
Well, she was found in the water tank, right?
The water tank, yes.
Right.
But the main evidence we had was that elevator video.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Mean incidents of crime on full moon days.
Mm.
We got spike.
Wow. And how often are full moons? Once every 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something?
Yeah, about once a month.
Do you think it's because of the increased number of werewolves?
Quite possibly, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, make sure before you forget, just make sure you save that link from the guy at O'Hare. I want to try and get that guy on.
Dude.
I think we could get him on.
Oh yeah,
You know,
so
maybe offer him a couple bucks.
sure, sure.
We're not below paying people to come on our
Yeah,
podcast.
I don't know. Grease the palms a little bit. That's what journalism is all about, you know.
Maybe we
Yeah.
get some Cup of Joe's merch.
Hey,
Now you're
nice.
thinking. I know
Yeah.
we have Stu in the chat. He could maybe whip something up for us. He's the one that did our logo. Shout out Stu Magoo. He could maybe throw something on a T-shirt or maybe a mug.
Or
So
a
you
brand
can.
of coffee beans. Hmm?
That's
Yeah.
actually a great question, Sandoval. Why isn't the Biden administration doing anything about these full moons?
I
You,
mean, I know they were talking about like blocking out the sun because of global warming, not the moon. You
I
know,
mean, we have the ability to rocket the moon, right? Like throw a nuke at it.
we could blow it up.
I mean, yeah, there was a big space race that took place, in the 60s. Like, why can't we be the first one to blow up the moon? Isn't it the next
Hmm.
big thing?
First and only one to explode a lunar body.
There's only gonna be one. You're either gonna explode it or you're not.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that's a wise decision, Q. All of the shrapnel from the moon would inevitably crash to Earth and cause a lot of issues.
Hmm. How do you think that would affect the tides?
That's another good question.
Maybe we get some more Johnny Tsunami video or movies out of that.
Ooh.
Would be disastrous. It's not a great idea. I'm gonna have to vote no.
Okay.
But
On the fence. I'm on the fence with this one.
So you're pro moon, Joe?
I'm on record. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you do have that special memory with your dad, so I don't want to take that from you.
Yeah.
The moon goons.
The moon goons.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, guys.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know.
You looking up that name right now?
Yeah, I was trying to find more Mothman stuff. Most people,
Hmm.
most critics of the Mothman cryptid, they they think people are just seeing birds, owls, cranes.
Right. I could see crane, but an owl's pretty short, right? 3, 4 feet tall, right?
Is the Mothman of West Virginia? And, most people are saying that they're owls. This is the statue I was trying to show earlier that they put up in the town of the Mothman.
Wow, he's
Pretty
ripped.
cool.
Look at that.
Yeah, he's got an 8-pack.
That's an 8-pack.
Yeah,
What's on his chest? Is that a tattoo or is that he's inked up?
I think it was like fur,
I don't know.
supposedly.
Is it? Oh yeah, kind of.
Wait, I'm zoomed in.
Here we go. Yeah. What is that?
It's chest hair.
Kind of looks like maggots almost, you know.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I saw him, maybe we can get an interview with Mothman.
That would be exclusive.
Yeah. Seems like his wings got too many holes in them though, right?
Yeah, I can't really generate much lift with that.
No. It's all tattered.
Where do you guys fall in the Bigfoot? Are you pro Bigfoot? Are you a believer? Do you think all the videos are fake? Do you think does that case hold any water? What do you guys think?
I think since we are trying to get that TV gig with Discovery Channel, we obviously sent an audition tape to them. That I am gonna say we are pro Bigfoot because a lot of their programming is Bigfoot shows and those scary shows where people have the microphone in the scary houses. So I think we're gonna, or at least I think for the podcast, we at least should say we're pro Bigfoot.
Okay.
I mean, if possible, I'd like to set up a fight card between Bigfoot and Mothman. If we could arrange that live podcast.
Like the Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah,
Recently.
precisely. Yeah. Well, that's a gorilla.
That's a pretty 4K. I was gonna say that's a pretty good video. So Joe, I thought we just talked about we're pro Bigfoot. You just said that's a gorilla.
Well, that one is, but
Gorilla. I mean, that's a pretty hot trot. That's pretty.
I will say that the timing of the head turn is a little conspicuous. It seems pretty well timed.
Also, I feel like gorillas have like thick necks. Like, can they really do that like range of motion that quickly?
Right. Did you just include this analysis here, Joe, with the gorilla?
Yeah, I'm drawing the gorilla head. It's similar shape.
See, this is what other podcasts won't do for the folks at home. We
No.
get into the conspiracies, we figure out the answers, and we get to the bottom of these things that you just don't see anywhere else.
No. Yeah, I mean, the parallels are undeniable here. Look at this. We could be talking about interbreeding, gorilla and man. Maybe like Bill Walton hooked up with a gorilla one time.
That would not shock me. I can't believe
No.
how well that video is.
Kind of looks like he's in a hurry, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He does have like a big arm motion, like a big sway.
I wonder where he's got to go.
I guess, do we know why the camera was on that spot in the first place? Was there
that's a good question.
initial sightings, so they thought, what the hell, it's just...
This is known as the Patterson video.
Patterson Gimlin.
So this is AI retouched. To make it clearer.
I mean, this looks like a kind of a clear-cut forest. I don't know why he'd be walking around in this one,
Here's in slow-mo.
Yeah, like, why does he look back at like the perfect middle part of the like?
He's in the middle of the frame.
Yeah. What up, Doze? How are you? Yeah, maybe Stash says maybe the guy had a long fucking day. Chill. Like, what if he's going back to his Bigfoot woman? He's pissed. He had a long day at work.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to go like make dinner now and listen to her yap all day.
All right. Well, if Jane Goodall thinks Bigfoot's real, I'm sold.
Consider me Miles Davis.
One thing that people say is supportive of this not being someone in a suit is they have the thigh jiggle. You know what I'm talking about? It's like his muscles don't move like someone in a gorilla suit. It's like they jiggle.
Are you saying the videos jiggle or humans?
No, the thigh meat jiggles.
Yes. Yeah. Like a regular wood or a regular like limb would. Here's another one. Here's another sighting.
Did you see the first headline before that? Right at the beginning of the video? Are you seen as a jerk? Does everybody think you're an asshole? Here's Bigfoot.
Stay with us, Bigfoot, just after this.
Stay tuned, dickhead.
Do your coworkers consider you a dick? This next skit's just for you.
Prove them wrong with this video.
What is he going for? Is he doing a golf club out of the water there? Hold on,
I
can you
don't
go
know.
back? It looks like he's taking a golf swing.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
it's just a picture.
he's in a rough hazard.
Yeah, that's just a photo.
I'm not seeing anything here.
No. Truth is out there.
What's the top comment? That's what we did in the last YouTube series we did.
There are no
Oh,
comments.
Zero comments.
The
But
who
there's
million?
2 million views.
Oh,
How
he
is that?
probably has them turned off.
Yeah.
Coward. We're not gonna have our comments turned off, are we, guys?
Oh no.
No.
We read them during the video. Well, I'm sold.
I thought you're not sold. I thought it's a human.
No, I said it was a gorilla, but then Joe mentioned the whole thing about the thigh jiggle. If I see video evidence of the thigh, jiggle, I'm in.
All right, we need to get a consensus for the chat because they're getting antsy. PQ says we need the real truth, fellas. So there's 3 of us. We need to take a vote. Are we Team Bigfoot?
Well, you might have a hung jury because I got to see the jiggle footage. Okay.
Joe had to hide his screen when he typed in jiggle footage just in case something came up he didn't want.
No, we've all been there.
Sandoval is Team Thigh Jiggle. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you and Joe B are on the same page.
Yeah.
You guys are focusing on the thigh. I want to focus on the arm, the sway, the big, really rocking the arms back and forth. Maybe he was just like a professional power walker.
Hmm. Oh. Joe I has been kidnapped by Mothman again.
See, every time we investigate these deep state, deep government conspiracies, Joe I's internet gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
I mean, first we get banned from iTunes. Second, Spotify, they decided to do a deal with Joe Rogan instead of us.
That hurt.
Now our Zoom host keeps getting kicked off because we're getting to the bottom of the answers that the government doesn't want you to hear.
Hmm. We do it for the Joes out there. Well, I suppose I could start another conspiracy while we're waiting, right?
Yeah, he said it's the 30. It's the 30. So yeah, so we're getting booted with our Zoom calls, folks at home. So just bear with us. Because again, we do not pay to host these Zoom calls, which is why all the donations are appreciated. We do appreciate the donations so that we can bring you guys uncut, raw podcast, live action, video, face to face, mano a mano, while you're sitting in your living room, having a beer with us, enjoying your night. So we appreciate you guys sticking with us. There they are.
All right. Yeah, you guys.
Bless you.
It's definitely, thank you. It's definitely the 30-minute time limit because I think I maybe changed. I used to pay for Zoom, but maybe I stopped paying for it.
Yeah, I was just telling the chat that was the case, but we're going to stick with the theory that the government's after you because we were getting to the bottom of things.
Yep.
So that's what we're going with.
Can't change my mind from that. So
Hey, we agree. So maybe we're gonna get to this conclusion on the thigh jiggle, the arm sway, the costume.
Compelling evidence, all for sure. Yeah.
There's a lot to be weighed here.
Yeah.
I found a thigh jiggle video.
Oh yes. All
yes. Right. See the anticipation. MKD.
Oh, I'm kind of seeing it.
Whoa.
What does MKD stand for?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But you can see his thigh meat
It does. Yeah,
jiggle.
that's interesting.
So they're saying the argument. Okay, I'm following now.
I mean, unless
So
the suit were made of meat, right? Or
right.
some kind of cellophane, or I don't know.
It's kind of weird if you look at his face and they change the. What do you think?
I might get nightmares from keep watching this.
So this is from a subreddit called High Strangeness,
Oh,
where basically these are just like situations and things that are they give you a weird feeling of maybe some type of coincidence or something strange happening.
so
There's a lot of
frequent this, yeah,
there's a lot of good content in here.
yeah.
I'll just go check it out real quick. I'll go to the top, see what we got in here.
Oh, the top's always good. All right, PQ. I hope you're still in the chat because you're gonna love some of this shit.
If you multiply the height of the Great Pyramid of Giza by 2 pi, you get 3,022 feet. Actual perimeter of its base is 3024. To put that in perspective, each side of the base should be 755.5 feet instead of 756, half a foot shorter in order to get 322. Unimaginable accuracy.
Whoa.
Hmm.
Uh,
So are we saying aliens or what?
Possible. I'm not really sure what the significance of that is. Just
All right.
that it's very highly accurately made.
Just that it was
Here-
very well designed.
Here's one of someone in a Tesla
Oh,
parked in a cemetery detecting a person in front of the car.
What the fuck? I think that's over by PQ's house.
it definitely is.
That's
That's
creepy.
that's pretty strange.
I like that.
A lot of good stuff on here. That's actually what angels are described as looking like in the Bible.
It's Ezekiel's vision, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Just like an orb with a bunch of eyes and wings. And just some memes.
Nice.
Here's a triangular UFO.
What the?
Is that the Great Pyramid?
It's flying.
It's being transported to Egypt.
Every night they do this. They bring it back to space, and then
Yep.
sun comes up, they bring it back. Yeah.
There's your brain and your nervous system. Yeah, so it's just some cool stuff. Things at the Denver airport.
And if the folks at home want to check it out, what's the Reddit again?
It's called High Strangeness.
High Strangeness. Thanks.
Mm.
Yep.
Okay. Excellent.
So, some good stuff on there.
Oh yeah.
If you're looking to don't read it too late at night. You might get a little spooked.
A little spooky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A little spookiness.
Well, that thigh jiggle is going to be on a loop in my mind while I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the answer will just come to you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it'll come. Yeah.
Like you do the Hangover Galifianakis math equation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm,
Nice.
Yeah. I've never really had an experience of high strangeness or paranormal. I've wanted to,
Mm.
in a way, but I've never actually had one.
yeah, it's almost like you can't just go calling for it. You gotta just gotta like happen, right? It's gotta.
I heard a firsthand account of I was in a play with this guy. I won't say his name because it seemed like this is a pretty traumatic experience for him.
Was
But he
it
said,
was it Sandoval Hines?
"Oh, it might have been." But he said when he was a kid in his house, he was at the top of his stairs where his bedroom was, and he went out, and when he looked down, he saw like a figure that was like an apparition but green, and was slowly walking up the stairs at him.
What?
Yeah,
That would freak me out.
yeah.
Like you heard of people like going to like see a haunted house or a haunted cemetery and they'll like see something like that. But something that's in your own safe space.
How do you sleep like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met someone since moving out here. He does he's a carpenter in like there's a lot of really old houses here, like 1800s, 1700s even. And so like when they do remodeling in these houses, they want to do it historically accurate, to refurbish the house, but only using materials and tools that were available at the time and things like that. And he's got a ton of weird stories of like when he's working on these super old houses of things you see, ghosts kind of, but also just feeling like he's being watched when he's up in the attic by himself, things like that. Because they're kind of spook. There's really old houses here, and I was like, yeah, I've never had anything like that. And he's like, well, to be honest, every building in this city is like 150 years old. So odds are someone's died in every building that you're in.
So is
Yeah.
he saying that every house in your city's haunted? Yeah.
I don't know. He's saying like like it's not so uncommon that someone probably died in your bedroom in your house. That's just because everything's older, right? So
Well, and
Yeah.
how far are you away from like the Selma witch trial, the
Salem.
Salem witch trials? Is that New York?
No, that's in Salem, Massachusetts.
That's
That's
right.
just
That's
north.
right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's just north of Boston. So that's like 2 hour drive from me,
Yeah.
right here.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
you're within a diameter or radius over there of
You're in the neck of the woods.
yeah. I
it's
mean,
fun to go there during
you're
during October. We went a couple years ago.
oh really?
Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty
Whoa,
cool.
spooky.
You can go see like the witch. They call it the witch house. It's just this big, uh, old New England house. It's all black.
What?
It's from like 1650 or something. And
I can
one
only
of
do that
the
during the day. I couldn't go there at night. I would freak out.
yeah, it is. It's cool. It's kind of fun though because they do reenactments in the streets and stuff. They do the trials in the streets. Like she's a witch. It's kind of fun, and you can have some lobster rolls and some drinks. It's a good time.
Nice.
Sending a lady to
Yeah.
the spike, but you get some lobster
Mm.
rolls and a
Right. Right.
glass of wine to go along with it.
Some popcorn, your dad's cheering.
Killer! I could see
Yeah.
your dad thriving in those times, Joe.
Oh, there's a lot of people from all over the place that come. It's pretty fun.
Mm.
Must have been a real important potion, huh?
Yeah. This is what it looks like. This is the witch house. But like this is not like a haunted house. This was built in like 1620. It's just an all
It
black.
looks kind of modern.
Yeah, it's weird how styles come back, but this house is over 400 years old.
Can you
About
click
400
the one
years
to the
old.
right, the couple on the right there?
They just went to it to visit.
You think about interviewing them, Q?
We may have to get them on.
Mm.
Well, no, Joe's on. Joe's been there.
Right.
But it's cool like in the fall because they have a lot of like the trees and stuff, which is a cool
That does
place
look
to
really
be.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That little walk up right there on where your mouse just was. It's a nice walk up there, like a red brick road.
Mm-hmm. To hell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the inside of it. It's kind of strange when you're in there.
And did
I think the person who lived here was like the head judge of the witch trial, and he's the one who sentenced them all to death.
so they give you like an oral history of like the story and educate you.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's a fun place to go if you ever want to visit.
I'm in.
And you said that's
Yep.
what about 2 hours from you?
Yeah,
Maybe
and
we could.
everyone, they dress up as witches. Oh, that might be a
Is that
Mothman out
Mothman?
there.
Well, I think this is a perfect opportunity to say maybe in October we come do a cup of Joe's podcast from Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah, yeah,
Go visit Joe in October.
that would be great. Yeah, this is
So again,
and
this is
it's
yeah. So this is a
people
huge
are
event. Oh, there's
yeah,
It's.
Oh, oh
Joe, there's
no.
your guy. That's
Oh
it. That's
no.
Joe's favorite character.
I'm not coming.
Have you seen the new It's?
I haven't seen the new one.
Wow.
After the first one, I was done. Never again.
So are
new ones
we
are good.
verbal agreement about going to Salem?
Yeah,
Do a
yeah. I mean,
podcast
you
October?
can you could come. Yeah, fly to Boston. Could meet you
Maybe we could
there.
rent like a little theater, get some of the audience with us, you know?
Do a live. I'd imagine you have to book pretty far in advance because this is like their Super Bowl is the whole October month.
Yeah.
But there's some good spots there for. It's kind of cool. The police. You know how it's like certain like cities have like their police have like interesting patches.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Salem has this is what their patch looks like. The Witch City.
Oh.
It's kind of
Nice.
cool.
That looks like a logo in like Hocus Pocus or something.
Yeah, they well the Hocus Pocus house is also in Salem because they filmed it there.
See, we
Hmm.
gotta make it. We gotta make a trip out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have to. It'd be such good content. We could set up in a couple interviews beforehand where we can meet some of the old people who like give the tours and stuff. You know, maybe Ryan Obbins works there. Good contact
He,
to touch base with.
he must. Oh,
yeah, it's
my
good
brother-in-law,
stuff.
he's real big about cops go exchange the patches whenever they go to a new place. So I'll bring some patches with us. Get some of those, you know?
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sure CPD is a really rare patch that not a lot of people have.
Mm.
Hey, I know it's not much, but I kind of want your guys Salem one. So
Yeah, just give him, at
it's
least
like
give him some.
it's like the NFL, like the jersey swap after the games.
Yeah,
They do like the jersey swap.
yeah. Cop swaps,
Hey, have you seen the jersey swap of the kids that partied in Vegas together?
Mm.
Joe,
No,
have you seen that one?
no.
Oh, you gotta Google it if you can. So these kids like never met before. They partied together, had like a night out in Vegas, and then they like posed for a picture together after the night, and they took off or they took off their shirts, and they did a jersey swap with one another, and they posted it online, and it became like this big viral picture. That's it. After like a night out in Vegas, look at the kid on the right, how blasted he is. I thought that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like, you know what I mean? Meeting some random dudes.
That's
Oh,
great.
I think I'm pro jersey swap now. I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stories around Massachusetts. Like there's one of there was a show on Netflix. Was it Unsolved Mysteries? But it's an old show, but they rebooted it. But the first, one of the episodes took place just like where I live, and it was called like the Berkshire UFO abductions. And what it was, the Berkshires are like some mountains of western Massachusetts, and then I think it was in the early '80s. They had like 4 or 5 different people got abducted, so they say, from like towns miles apart. They never met each other, but they met each other on a spaceship. They say, and they still kept in contact afterwards. But like there was multiple. Everyone was like, yeah, there's like lights in the skies on this specific night. Um,
I'm familiar
I
with
don't,
that show. I'll go watch that episode for sure.
yeah, and I was like, oh shit, I'm moving to this place. But it's weird. It's just like you think Massachusetts, you think like a city, Boston, but over here it's a little bit more rural. There's mountains and everything, and you could definitely see some.
No, Central Mass, Western
Yeah,
Mass, it's like beautiful. It's like you think of like Vermont, like mountainous
yeah,
trees, hills. I mean, it's
that's kind of what it's like. Yeah,
yeah. So they claim or they met each other on some UFO, and then how did they? I guess how did they meet eventually in person where they put two and two together or
I
whatever?
think, I think,
I thought they exchanged numbers on the UFO.
yeah,
How did we get here?
yeah, I think,
Maybe it was the
I
guys in
think,
Vegas. Like they just get
yeah.
smoked one night, and you're like, dude.
Mhm. Am I getting probed right now, bro?
Oh, it's great.
This is
Yeah, that theme song for Unsolved Mysteries is unreal. It's a great show. The rebooted series is awesome.
these were the Thomas Reed, man at the center of 1969 Berkshire's UFO report. Says
Wait a
the
second. I
story.
think I've seen this episode because I recognize that guy.
Yeah,
This was part of the new season then.
yes, it was a newer one.
All right, I've seen this one.
So
I'm gonna have to give it a rewatch.
Mm.
yeah,
Like
it's
she's
weird.
definitely been
Yes,
Yeah,
I remember
there's
this guy. Yes, dude, he was awesome.
the guy.
beam
This
me
is the
up.
guy. Yeah, yeah, he reenacts it in his lawn. What happened? But
I remember the lady in the bottom left there.
hmm
Yeah, it was a good episode. There's some really good episodes in that one.
yeah, most of them are sad. They're like a kid went missing or something. But the UFO one is always fun.
Mm.
I don't think
Unless the kid goes missing there too.
Yeah,
I I don't think they're not all sad. I don't like there weren't that many child abductions in the series that I remember.
yeah. Well, this is the most fun one, I think.
Yeah,
Well, that
This
guy
is
looks like a good time. So,
yeah,
that hair? Are you kidding me?
hmm
check it out.
the
Just
Good stuff.
nondescript black baseball hat. Yeah.
especially like how many times do you think he's reenacted his UFO abduction?
To anybody who'll listen.
Like yeah, he's done that 1,000 times.
Hmm
And it's especially now more interesting that they're declassifying all the UFO files at the Pentagon.
Mm.
Yeah, they're starting to like just free reign, right? Like anybody can go access this stuff and look into it for themselves.
I'm trying to think. We probably have another 10 minutes before it bugs out on us again for the Fed to get us.
Well, we could probably just call it then when that's up because that'll be roughly our 2 hour mark. But hey,
Yeah.
real quick, did they just do the somebody who worked in the government in the Air Force or something was just on 60 Minutes talking
Yeah,
about all these UFOs he saw? He
yeah,
said he saw one like every day or something.
yeah. They
Maybe
were
we
like,
maybe we
how
could get
often do
that
you
guy
see him?
on.
Yeah, they were like, so how often do you see UFOs? Is it like, maybe once a year, once every couple of years? He's like, every day I see one.
Every
he's
day.
like, he's like, every day you see one? He's like, yeah, all the time.
Mm. Lifting up the pyramid, bringing it out.
So, and they just
Crazy.
like take his word for it. It's like, dude, why don't you take some like Snapchats or something with your phone?
Because it's
Sure that.
all, yeah, because it's all classified. Um,
I'd Snapchats.
it's just crazy that has just come out and then that's just like out there. And it's just like, no one is talking about it too much.
I think it's because so much is so crazy right now. People just don't care.
Yeah, that's why they did it.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like yeah, I agree with that.
But
And it's also,
still,
but it
yeah,
also maybe like some of these people who have said that they've seen UFOs over the years, and everybody just has called them crazy. Like now they can get vindicated. You know,
so to a certain extent.
it's like, yeah, when I stopped talking to my crazy uncle. He said he was like abducted. It's like, well, now he can get vindicated. You can talk to your crazy uncle again.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, invite them over to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, the scary part is that they are like the stance they're taking is we've been seeing these, but we don't know what they are. We have no idea. So we're just as far much in the dark as everyone else. And it's like, is that better? I don't know.
I think it was just like this was just like a vulnerable part of our modern history. We there's so much unknowns. I'll talk about like what's in the ocean. Like that's like the part that scares me the most. Like
What is
there's
in the ocean?
unknowns, and UFOs are a part of that.
Yeah.
I'd be excited to be taken up. I think it'd be pretty cool. I prefer that than being dropped in the ocean. That's for sure.
Would you be one of those folks who volunteers to go start a colony on Mars with
Oh
Elon?
no. Oh no.
No?
I don't want to live there.
I feel like
No.
that'd be right up your alley.
No, no. I mean,
Couple Joes in space.
if we can get an internet connection, yeah, I'll do it. But
If you can host a Twitch Zoom from up there,
then I'm in. Yeah.
that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like a 30-minute delay, so
Mm.
I have to.
We can deal with that. Hey, what'd you do today, Joe? I was just growing potatoes in my own feces. Yeah. Shout out to The Martian if everybody's seen that.
Yes, Martian shout out. Good book too.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're gonna take back that take. I can see you going to Mars, Joe.
All right.
It,
Well, if I get reached out, to tomorrow, we'll see. If Elon himself asks me, I might think about it.
it'd have to be a pretty like nice severance package. Like, hey, you're not gonna see your family or
Yeah.
friends again, so we're gonna give you like.
Right. It'd be like a thing like you with Christopher Nolan, down to you kind of win a sweepstakes. You got to go
Yeah,
to the movie, and I got to go to Mars.
but even that, like, how do you even? You can't even. You're not gonna be able to spend any of that money.
Yeah.
Those
You
Mars
just have to.
bucks. What if it's just like you get like a big plot of land and you could like I don't know.
Yeah.
What if there's like Mars women and you get or like
That are from Mars.
yeah.
I mean, okay.
Now we're talking.
All right. Now you speak my language.
Anytime I think of like Go to Mars or something like that, I just think of Scary Movie when they talk with their hand signals. It's like, you should see how we pee.
Oh yeah. Or I think of the South Park too. That reminds me of that.
Yeah, how they hide it in every episode too.
Well, that yeah.
Yep. I'll stay on Earth for now.
All right, so we're Team Earth. I think with that, we're hitting 9:15, 10:15 out east. We'll probably call it. You guys all cool with that?
That works.
All
I
right.
I give a little shout out next week. Little preview. We got a big conspiracy coming.
Big
So
conspiracy. Folks at
big
home.
conspiracy. I was
Wow.
gonna do a couple parter. Gonna start it tonight, but I'm thinking I'm just gonna do it all at once next week. So be prepared.
Yes. Can you
And
give us
let me.
a little trailer or a little hint,
I'll just ask a question.
little sprinkle?
Yeah, for everybody out there, think to yourself: Are you a citizen, a person, or a man or woman? Think about those options. What we're talking about next week.
Or
All
are
right.
you a Martian MILF? Says Sandoval Hines.
All right, there's
So
four.
there's four. Yes.
Yes.
Which category do you fall in? Be back next week, and you'll find out which category you fall in. I'm gonna be thinking about this all week of where I'm gonna land.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And depending on where you land, you might be in some trouble, legal trouble.
All right. Well, with that, I think that was a very fun episode. Got a lot of laughs. We're definitely gonna put some YouTube clips together. Again, be lookout. We got some interviews coming along, and I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday weekend coming up.
Absolutely. Happy Memorial Day. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Yeah, good weather.
So,
Enjoy some BBQ. Do whatever. Hope you guys have a good one.
all right. Well, with that, we will see you next week.
All right. Yep. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys were a lot of fun tonight.
All right. I think we're almost at the time limit. So,
All righty.
we'll,
All right.
All right.
see you guys.
Take care.
All right, boys. Have a good night.
Yep.